ask. Whitlock, what's your reaction?
And it'll be interesting to hear Rob and your reaction, McIntyre as well, but this falls on Adam Gase. This guy's getting paid $2.5 million to be the offensive line coach. That means someone stood on a table and said, this is my guy, he's got to get paid, blah, blah, blah. And that's Adam Gase. Someone on your staff is pretending to snort cocaine before going to a meeting. Either he is or he's pretending, one or the other. That's on Adam Gase as well. It's a bad look for the league. It's a bad look not just for this guy individually, and it speaks to how poisonous the environment is because the woman that did this was Kaepernick associated. She was upset that Kaepernick's being demonized, so let me expose NFL coaches and how bad they are. It's a poisonous, toxic environment. Bad look for the NFL and the Miami Dolphins.
Well, it's funny. Through the years, I always try to think of what does a coach inherit. I've always supported Marvin Lewis, and I've said he inherited a cheap second-class organization. Marvin can coach. Doc Rivers gets heat. He inherited a third-class operation. Mike Tomlin inherited the royal family of the NFL. I'm tougher on Tomlin. There's part of me that says this organization, since Dave Wannstedt and Jimmy left, is a mess. But there's also part of me that says
9 different teams recruited by everybody. That's why he got $2.5 million. This offensive Chris Forrester. He's coached 9 different teams. This is an NFL.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that part of me says, okay, Miami's hard to coach. The other part, though, when I watched Adam Gase, you got the Cutlery go, and you've got the Hurricane, you've been displaced, and then you have this. I'm starting to think Adam Gase, the narrative now is hire young coaches. It feels like it's engulfing him. Like this job is too big. And by the way, this is Miami. This is a port city. This is a hard organization to coach. Jimmy Johnson struggled with things here. I think he's over his head. I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a distraction, obviously, no coach is going to think of. You're going to hire, this is his first head coaching job. He's going to hire people he knows, that he trusts, and things like that. And to see this guy have this kind of problem, obviously, and making $2.5 million or $3 million, damn, he had a better agent than I did. But it's
as a position coach.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It really is. You're in the best profession in the world. You've worked to the top. You've worked your tail off to get there, and then he obviously has a huge problem. This is a married guy. I mean, it's devastating for this guy.
Yeah. Here's what I keep coming back to, guys, with this. Culture matters. And it's top down, and it's been a disaster in Miami for almost 2 decades.
He's right.
How many playoff wins since Dan Marino left this organization? 0. On this show last year, I said the Dolphins should be lumped in with the Browns and the Jets as one of the worst-run organizations in the league, whether it's a bullying scandal, whether Nick Saban, they had Nick Saban in the building, and he saw this, and he's like, I got to get out of here, okay? Well, you got the bullying scandal we mentioned, the gas mask incident on the draft night with Laramie Tunsil. They still drafted him. Yeah. I mean, the GM one day, Jeff Ireland. You guys remember the Des Bryant incident? This is just such a toxic organization, and culture matters so much in the NFL.
And that's what I'm saying with you is I have been tough on Tomlin, but the Steelers have their act together. I've been forgiving for Marvin Lewis. The Bengals don't. This job was tough on Wannstedt and Jimmy Johnson and Saban. This kid's he's not ready for this job.
Rob, I don't want to put you in a bad spot, and so you don't even have to respond to this. But I think this is just an NFL celebrity, even the position coach. Now everybody's making so much money because I go to New Orleans, and there's been issues with Sean Payton, and there's been coaches, again, I was reading Albert Breer's story about the Detroit Lions coach that showed up naked and drunk in a drive-through window. Again, the
stress?
The stress. Money.
Buttoned up and the lack of being buttoned up. A lot of these organizations,
they're overworked. They're disconnected from their families. This guy, I think, was married but has lived apart from his wife since 2004, according to this Albert Breer story.
Did you sense the stress? I mean, is that what?
I mean, I think the work and the grind is the beauty of this job. I love it. I mean, no one's going to outwork me. I promise you that. And I enjoyed it. Now, You know, I don't look like everybody else. Maybe I stress eat. I don't know. But I know, I'm telling you this. It's a love and a passion that there is, you know, out there. There is no other job that gives you that. As an NFL coach, you're going against the best. It's a great challenge. It's an honor to go up against other people. So, you know, I don't get the other things that go on. Maybe that's just life in every
let's not give these guys
Maybe
a
it's
pass,
not just
okay?
football. Maybe it's, you know, hell, the guy working at McDonald's might have a drug problem like this guy. Who knows?
Yeah, let me just throw this out there. There's a reason you've never heard of a show called CSI Buffalo or The Real Housewives of Green Bay. Let's look at the NFL right now. New Orleans is a mess. Miami's a mess. New York teams are a mess.
Cleveland, Detroit.
As the league has more money, some of these cities are harder to coach in.
Again,
I
don't
think so.
I don't.
Okay.
You can find
coached at 8 sidelines.
Right.
I never noticed. And look, it wasn't the decal or where you were and stuff. So I honestly never felt that. Even you're in a huge stadium in Jerry's World, or if you're in Cleveland, it never changed. You were just excited for the opportunity.
If you're looking for trouble, you can find it in any city.